I'm Jasmine, Viel. We are streaming live here on CBS News Los Angeles at this very large rally that is taking place here right in the corner of Wilshire and Veteran in front of the Federal Building. This is the Stand With Us rally in support of Israel. Now, folks here, people, this crowd gathering well before 2 p.m. of when this rally was supposed to begin. You can see they've been singing, they've been dancing, and cars have been honking. By the way, they are chanting, "All Jews are one. All Jews should be one." That is what they've been here singing and dancing. This should last, at least I'm told, until 4 p.m. Again, in support of Israel, here in front of the Federal Building. It's the nonprofit Stand With Us that is putting this on. This group fights anti-Semitism. They are also working with the Temple of the Arts with this, with a multitude of Jewish organizations, rabbis, synagogues, people out here with signs, flags. Hamas, this comes after the terror group launched the wave of attacks in Israel Saturday, as we all saw, killing just scores of people and taking hostages. And some of the people out here with signs, like this man right here. Can you hold up your sign? He has a sign of a little girl that media reports have said has been kidnapped. So people here making their voices heard, taking a stand against what they say is this terrorist organization, Hamas, who killed so many people, triggering some of the worst bloodshed in 75 years of conflict. Israel's embassy in Washington reporting that the death toll from the weekend's Hamas attacks has now surpassed 1,000. I've been out here, one woman, young woman here, Sophia, you have family in Israel. Tell me what you've been going through.
I've been checking in on them, making sure they're alive and all right. I'm happy they're all doing good, but it's very scary right now. Yeah.
And when was the last time you visited Israel?
2 years ago. Yeah.
And out here today, and what does your sign say?
Israel, we stand with you. We're small people. It's important to come together. I'm on vacation over here, and I'm here.
And you're here on vacation. Where are you from?
San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And came out here to be here in solidarity with
Israel.
with your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophia, so much. Here, sorry, it is so loud as the cars are continuing to honk. We do have private security here. We have the LA County Sheriff here making sure that this crowd stays here on the sidewalk. They don't want them blocking the intersection. We have seen some folks crossing the intersection here at Wilshire on the light, and cars will seem to be letting them pass, letting them do what they want to do, what they are out here to do to get their voices heard. So this crowd over here behind me, this group has been going nonstop. Again, they've been dancing. They have speakers set up, so we're expecting to hear from a few rabbis today who will be here from some of the local synagogues. Local rabbi. Speaking of, thank you for the few minutes of your time. Just tell what the message is. Tell our viewers we're streaming live here on CBS News Los Angeles.
The message is that the Jewish people have suffered a catastrophe unlike we have suffered since the end of the Holocaust, with 1,000 innocent men, women, and children, and grandmothers killed, raped, and abducted in cold blood, and that yet nothing will douse the Jewish spirit. We're here with love. We're here with a sense of resolve. We're here always, even on a day like this, and especially on a day like this, praying for peace, for the safe return of the captives, for the defeat of the enemy, and sometimes the enemy has to be named as an enemy, for the defeat of terrorism and for wickedness, and for being able to recognize and identify evil when it is visible, and to bring the world together in support of peace and living together in the Middle East, and with an unending love for the state of Israel and the Jewish people.
I'm sure you had large gatherings and vigils and people at your synagogue in the last few days. Southern California.
We participated in the sort of regional gathering at Stephen S. Wise Temple on Sunday night. We had our own vigil last night with hundreds of members of our community coming together to pray, to sing, to cry. Not a single word of revenge, not a single word of hatred, even for those who hate us, but a resolve that we're going to continue to live our Jewish lives with pride in our Jewish identity and with our Zionist identity, and raise our children to know that while it is sometimes too scary to be a Jew, it's also a privilege to be a Jew and to be living even in this generation as a member of the Jewish people.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. I just spoke to a group of grandmothers as well who say they have no fear coming out here to be a part of this rally. despite the fear that their relatives have in Israel right now. One woman told me that her father was a Holocaust survivor, so this means a lot to her to fight for her homeland. I want to give you another look at the crowd here that continues to grow. Again, this rally expected to last until 4 p.m., but probably much longer than that, as we've seen these things go in the past. And also, as we've reported, Hamas's first target, it was that Israeli music festival where just scores of young people dancing into the morning hours were just massacred. And so to see the dancing out here on this corner today, the solidarity coming together, the young people wanting to be here, who had school today and jobs and work, and they got out of their daily commitment to all come together is what they've told me. Now, Gaza's health ministry said that Israel's retaliatory airstrikes have killed at least 830 people, wounded more than 4,000. That was a report today from CBS News, just today, from Gaza's health ministry. So a lot of suffering.
Yes. I would like to add just a few things. People may be confused why people are jumping up and down and singing. What they're singing is that the nation of Israel lives and we will continue to live.
Come together.
Yes, and it's a cry that, we've been persecuted for thousands and thousands of years, and we continue to persevere. So that's what the dancing is about. A lot of people can misconstrue this as something else, but it's really just saying that the nation of Israel lives and will continue to live.
Thank you for explaining that. And the energy out here, right? Even in the heat, as things are really heating up, coming out here with, I've seen people handing out posters at a booth and the flags, making posters, writing things. And again, a lot of passerbys in cars and vehicles continuing to honk. So it is noisy. They definitely are getting a lot of attention here. I also have a report coming up on KCAL News. I'm going to have to step away and start to work on that. But I spoke to 2 Israeli men. They've been called back to the military in Israel, but they've been here on vacation. They can't get home. Their flights were canceled. And one of them found out that his sister, who he calls a sister, it's really his second cousin, a 20-year-old woman, serving as an officer, was shot and killed while protecting the border right there near Gaza. So he's learned that one of his family members killed in this attack. He's devastated, trying to get home. He missed her funeral, so we're going to have his story coming up. I spoke to him in Sherman Oaks just a little bit ago. All of that on KCAL News, but we're going to leave you with a live picture here of this rally, the Stand With Us rally that is being held here right at the corner of Wilshire and Veteran. I'm Jasmine, Viel, KCAL News, streaming live here on CBS News Los Angeles. We'll see you in a little bit, but again, we're going to continue to give you these live pictures, this video of the rally that is taking place here.
Well, good afternoon from West LA. This is Desmond Shaw reporting over the Federal Building for a pretty large rally protest here at the corner of Wilshire and Veteran Avenue. Very popular place for rallies and protests. This is the Stand With Israel rally put on by an organization called Stand With Us, a pro-Israeli group. Pretty large protest, and this just began about a half hour ago at about 2 o'clock, and it's already grown to several hundred people at least. I'll widen out and show you the wide shot here along Wilshire Boulevard. And we saw a pretty big rally yesterday in Beverly Hills at Beverly Garden Park on Santa Monica Boulevard. But even that one I don't believe was as large as this one has already gotten. I have to imagine that more and more people will continue to arrive as well. So taking a look here at people that have been crossing the sidewalk, it looks like every time they get the rotation across the street, at least a few people with flags are getting across the intersection here. Obviously one of the most visible intersections in all of Los Angeles, so much car traffic coming through here. The good news for drivers just trying to get through West LA on Wilshire, traffic is not too severe. Well, I say that here, now widen out, you can see actually, you know what, eastbound, it is getting pretty tough here. You know what, I will rescind what I just said. Look at this, wow, eastbound traffic on Wilshire Boulevard is getting jammed coming from before San Vicente. So Let's go back and take a look here at that intersection. Sometimes you have some folks stepping out into the right lane and blocking off that right lane. In fact, you got LAPD here as well. They're going to want to make sure that everyone stays in the sidewalk, but you have this unit here that looks like there may actually be LAPD here on scene blocking this right-hand lane, maybe kind of just for some spacing, but folks getting out in the street here as well. Here you got people driving by with an Israeli flag hanging out the sunroof as well. So quite a festive atmosphere out here. Lots of different signs, lots of different slogans. We could double in and see if we can see what some of these say. One that says, condemn Hamas terrorism, Israel, we stand with you. So again, this started at 2 o'clock, and usually when protests begin, it could take a lot of time for them to pick up some steam, but this one picked up quite a bit of steam immediately. It's definitely unusual. It just kind of gives you an idea of the emotions going on all around the world right now. Obviously, Southern California, the cosmopolitan melting pot that Los Angeles is, a very large Jewish population here in Southern California, especially in West LA, Beverly Hills as well. And so you could see quite a few people that have decided to come out here to make their stances known this afternoon. So this has been completely peaceful so far. Don't see any kind of counter protesters or counter rally or anything like that. So many issues in Southern California we've been seeing in recent memory, instances where things can turn, well, can I say maybe unpeaceful quite quickly, but not the case here. But definitely a drive to avoid here for the afternoon if it's your normal drive here eastbound on Wilshire, which could be tough on any day of the week. I mean, we're not even in rush hour yet. It's not even 3 o'clock, and you can see just how tough this drive is. So this is definitely going to be the one to avoid if you work in Santa Monica, maybe live in Beverly Hills or something like that. You definitely will need to find an alternate route. And it's beginning to affect the 405 as well. That northbound 405 off-ramp to eastbound Wilshire, going to be another one to avoid. So they have been planning this rally slash protest for at least a couple of days. I know we were talking about it yesterday. So as long as, and here you can see again people crossing the sidewalk here, crossing Veteran along Wilshire Boulevard for maximum visibility. And as long as everyone stays on the sidewalk, it doesn't impede traffic, this will be allowed to continue for some time. I assume that they have a permit for this because it was known that this was going to happen. And in here you got other cars driving by here. Look at this one, decked out with 5 flags, 2 American flags, 3 Israeli flags. So probably still a lot of people arriving. It's been a while since we've seen this kind of outpouring here. Perhaps not since the protests of 2020, protesting the murder of George Floyd, have we seen this kind of support around an issue, at least not that I've seen in recent memory. So again, this only began about 40 minutes ago. Makes me think that it could grow quite a bit larger as the afternoon progresses. LAPD's main thing is just going to be sure that everyone is staying on the sidewalk. Widen out to show you the federal building in general here. And that's going to do it here for SkyCal over West LA. If you're not coming for the protest, I would definitely avoid eastbound Wilshire Boulevard at Veteran. It's going to be a tough afternoon traffic-wise here for sure. Reporting over West LA and SkyCal, I'm Desmond Shaw.